a lot of bases here, from Corey being an announcer, Ed working with Russ behind the walls and at the track, and now Junior with his employer. Man, we're just blowing up tonight.
I'm not sure who this is.
Well, let's talk to him.
Northwest Dirt News, you're on the air.
This is Kenny Wheaton from Redmond, Oregon.
Oh, be doggone. How you doing, Mr. Wheaton?
Oh, my word.
You know, Ed, you know,
How you guys doing?
Really good. How you doing?
Good. Surviving.
Hey, Kenny, this is Ed Sim. I was actually trying to reach you and trying to look you up. You're hard to get a hold of nowadays, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, you know, when you live over here, you're a long ways from the loop.
Where are you at these days?
I'm back in Redmond.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so you had some doings with Russ and the High Wallers and all that. You care to share a story or two?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I got a few. I drove for them for 5 seasons total, and I think Russ came in about, I don't know, 87, 88, and he was there through the whole time that I was there the rest of the time.
Yeah.
He told me when I first met him, he said he came in from, I think, North Dakota or someplace, and I said, because he was in jail there, and he said he transferred to Salem because of the race team. He wanted to be on that race team because he loved race cars, and he said, I'm seeing the United States on the prison plan. That's what he told me.
That's funny.
It was pretty funny. But actually, Russ was a big part of our program. He came in and worked his way up to president for a while, and in 90, when we built that dirt car that Randy Sweet gave us the front end and Dana Stahl built the back half for us, he pretty much designed that car, and we had one of the first 4 bars that was at Lebanon, and he changed it around. He shortened up the bars, and that thing was just really a lot of fun to drive, and we really had a really, really good season that year with it.
Now, didn't you win a championship in that car or two?
No, we never did get a championship. I think about the best we got was about a 4th. We had motor issues was our biggest problem because, it's tough to get stuff for free, and Garrity Motors gave us a lot of blocks, and of course we had a lot of great sponsorships, but then just even the headache of getting machine work done was a problem, and Bob Boyer, of course, helped us out immensely in that department over the years, but it was still a rough thing to keep a motor, percolating in that environment, but, we did the best we could. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course.
So what are you up to now, Kenny?
What's that?
What are you up to now?
What am I, what?
What are you up to
now? I
now?
can't understand you.
He says, what are you up to?
I've actually retired. I retired a year ago, and actually I'm building rat rods, and I'm working for a guy and restoring Pontiacs, 58, 59 Pontiacs. So it's kind of still in the car world, I guess.
Yeah, you going to be racing anything at all?
Well, I never say no anymore because you never know what's going to spring up, but I haven't done anything for a few years. I drove a modified up there for Frank Hazen for a couple of seasons. We had a lot of fun. He won the championship one year, and I ran to second right behind him, and we had a lot of fun. But, it's just a fun thing up there, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. It's great you're still getting some seat time in, Kenny.
What's that?
It's great you're still getting some seat time in occasionally.
Well, once in a while. I'm getting to the point anymore where I'm not sure I can keep up with all these young guys.
Well, that's why you just put them in the wall, bud.
Yeah, right. Well, they put me in there one way or the other, yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah.
A shame about Wallace. I wish that deal was still going. I really do. It was a great program, and of course, I got to meet a lot of really interesting people through that deal, and of course, not to mention Critter, but all the crazies. But it was a lot of fun. It really was.
It had to be.
Oh yeah. So, what's your fondest memory of Russ?
What's that?
What's your fondest memory of Russ?
Well, I think the craziest thing about it was the first day I met him, in fact, he starts asking me if I knew who Frank Boom Boom Cannon was, and that was a car driver from up that way. Sorry. Which I knew of and kind of surprised him a little bit. Sorry, I just kind of got to me a little bit.
That's okay, bud.
But anyway, he was surprised that I even knew the guy's name. Anyway.
And I believe
He's a good friend.
Your whole family was involved with the High Waller program. Your mom, your dad, Joe, everybody was always coming to all the meetings and always go to the races. And
yeah, they sure.
And your whole family was all
they sure were.
A big, huge supporter of the High Wallers.
Yeah, they kind of adopted them as their family too. And of course, my dad just passed in August last year, and that was a hard thing to take. But
sorry to hear that,
because he'd been with me in all of them, and I appreciate that. He'd been with me through all of it. But it was an interesting time, to say the least.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. There's not a dry eye around here.
No, it's one of those things, Kenny. We're all.
Yeah, it's a big part of my life. You know, it's when you're involved in it, you really don't think too much about it. But when you're away from it a while and you look back, and you know, it was quite an interesting time, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Well, Kenny, we appreciate you calling in, bud. We really do.
All right. Thank you. And you know, I'd like to, express my condolences to his family or whoever's left. It's a sad thing.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kenny.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, Kenny, and
all right.
You bet. We're with you, buddy.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Man, that one got me going.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a dry eye in the room right now.
Yeah, Kenny was a great supporter of the program. His whole family was a great supporter of the program. They kind of adopted the High Wallers, and the High Wallers kind of adopted them. So he was a huge part of rehabilitating Russ and helping Russ and making Russ who he was.
Absolutely. I mean, Kenny, you can just hear in Kenny's voice when he's talking about Russ, how much of an impact Russ made on his life, on all, on the racing community's lives. And it's not easy.
And he and Russ brought a lot of people together too. Like a good example is Herschel McGriff Jr. Me and Herschel are great friends now. We talk on the phone almost weekly. Last 2 years in a row, I've taken my son down to Arizona, down to Tucson, and stayed with Herschel, and we've hung around at his shop, and we've
nice shop, huh?
Yeah, nice shop, and Herschel's helped us at the track when we've raced, and if it wasn't for Russ, I would have never met Herschel, and he's really so Russ kind of has pulled people together and families together, and it's really kind of cool.
I think that's why Herschel and Russ got along so well. Is they're both very kind people and always willing to help. They'll go out of their way to help anybody, and that says a lot about that's typically the way the racing community is. That's why we're all such good friends. I think might not like each other for a minute or two at the track, but hey, you always get over it. Yeah. So the racing family's pretty cool. I want to give this guy a call here. His name is Ralph Downs. He's spent time. He's Russ's celly for 5 years, and he says he has I believe what he said was a life-changing type of event with Russ that he would like to share with us.
Absolutely.
So let me get him on the horn here, and he was trying to get this going on his Game Boy or something like that, and they were having troubles getting the program, so he may not be up to speed on what's going on right yet.
Well, we'll bring him up to speed as quickly as we can.
Hello? Where'd it go?
Uh-oh. Nope. Uh-oh. I think we lost him there. Hang on. Well,
Yep.
either way, we'll get him. We'll get him squared away. Warren, you're working the phone lines tonight, so
I guess.
we'll go and chalk this up to rookiness.
He said, yeah, rookiness. I like that. Well,
Oh boy.
what are you doing to me here?
I don't know. I'm not doing anything.
Pointing fingers like. All right, we're going to try this one more time, and then I would like to give Cheryl a call, Russ's niece.
Well, I got one to sneak in there too.
Okay. Hello?
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up or
Okay.
press 1 for...
Well,
All right.
Let's see if I can sneak one in here. I'm going to try and get a hold of somebody and
All right.
see what I can dig up here. So, everybody right now is all about working in the shop and getting their cars going. So
Oops.
hopefully I can get this guy on the horn here.
Wow, you're slower than I am.
Let's see what we can dig up here.
Is this a surprise guest?
Kind of.
Hello.
Mr. Brian Drager.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. You're live on the air on Northwest Dirt News. How are you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good. We're busy in the shop tonight.
Wish I could be there, bud, but unfortunately Corey kind of put himself 2,600 miles away, so I kind of am stuck here in the studio. We talked on via text message earlier in the week about, you used to race late models in the early 90s against the high wallers. What kind of memories do you have about Russ and the high wallers program, and what was your experience with them?
Well, I had experiences with him on a couple different levels. I was thinking through it the other day, or actually this morning earlier, and my first recollection of Russ was when I was interviewing for a position he had open, and that was for the new driver for the high wallers car. And I think that came, I've been listening to the show and trying to put all the different drivers together through the years, and I guess that must have been right after was the driver. They were looking for a new one, and I was lucky enough to, among several other people, get to have the opportunity to interview for it. And my first recollection of Russ was walking into the room there at the pen, and came in with their brochures and all their little dog and pony shows, and I looked around the room, and I started looking at the caliber of the other drivers, and the first thing I thought to myself was, what in the world am I doing here? And then the very second thought I had was, and who is that huge guy over there? And it was Russ.
That's funny in itself that you go to a prison to apply for a job. I'm getting the visual here.
Yeah, it is a little different.
It sounds a little awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing Russ
And
over there.
Johnny Schuler was there, and he got the ride, but they didn't do bad by him at all. Johnny's a great wheelman, and they did good by him. So
Yeah.
it was a good experience. Like I say, I was just happy to be blessed to have been invited for it. So, but that was my first invitation to Russ, and then soon after that, I was actually employed by Russ's housing authority for a couple of years. So as I was there, I would, on my breaks and stuff, I'd track on down to the shop if they were open that day. And remember, the first thing we kind of make eye contact, Russ and I. Very first thing is I'd walk in, and I could tell that he was being pretty protective of their secrets and whatever they had going on in their program. And I didn't think about it at the time, but afterwards I thought, yeah, right, Russ, I'm coming here and I'm going to try to steal something